hilarious.
Yeah, I like the sound effects.
Sounds like
Are you
Jock.
just now discovering the sound effects?
I am. What's up with that? You never told me about them before. Loser!
Well, we had a reason why we didn't tell you.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm going to be playing them all the time now.
Jaws theme, or was that Brett?
It was the masks there from the, what do you call it, theater masks?
Hmm.
But I mean, you did that, not Brett.
Yeah.
Right, I
did
didn't do that. No.
Right on.
that. I mean, Jelly Bean. Yeah,
Yeah, the Google effects.
Should I start the show?
you already did.
Yes, you could start the show. Did we start the show yet?
You already started the show.
I mean, if we started the show, I'm sure we would have heard lots of, "Hey, we're here!" Hi, everybody. Hi, good evening. Thanks for having us. Our fine effects board is in full effect.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Oh, can't we all just get along?
Y'all ready for this?
I don't know. Are you guys ready for it?
I'm
I don't
always
know.
ready
I might have to boot both of you off of my friends list.
Why? What did we do?
What happened? Did we make a liberal comment? What happened?
Crap. What? Did I say something good about
You
Hillary?
didn't see my status the other day? I said if you think all cops are bad, I'm going to end up deleting you anyway, so delete yourself. I'm not about you two, but about...
I've never said all cops are bad. I've just said the ones that are need to be called out by the ones that aren't, and that doesn't happen.
Well, it does.
Au contraire, mon frère.
It does happen, but they get killed or
Exactly.
something.
Their
Yeah,
families
yeah.
disappear.
Wait, I was going to say au contraire, mon frère, because you said, I've always told my daughters never
Oh,
go
don't say all, don't say every. I'm a victim of my own ignorance, okay?
And I'm
Don't
working-
ever say all.
It's very true.
I had to admit the other day that Amy made me think, and I had to go full disclosure that my grandfather was the sheriff of a town.
Very true.
So, and he was a good man.
He's a good man.
Hey, you know what? Let's see here. What is today? Today? What?
Oh, no.
Today
Ugh.
is.
Today,
I am the tax man.
There's one for you, 19 for you.
You see that? Dear IRS,
I love that.
I am writing to cancel. I'm writing to you to cancel my subscription. Please remove my name from your mailing list.
Yeah, baby.
Could not agree
We'll
with
see
that
how
one
long
more.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So,
Talk about a broken institution. It's
so Amy,
Ridiculous.
you did just file today,
I just, literally like an hour ago, yeah.
and Brett, did you file? You're all done.
it was done in January.
Was it really?
Yeah, done in
How
January.
was it done in January?
As soon as I get my
Your
my
W-2?
info, I do it that day. I just sit down and do it that night.
Did you get a refund?
A little bit of one, not much.
I apologize for sharing what I shared, but
I know.
Loser.
Well,
but I did buy I went out and supported the economy. I bought a big screen TV. I bought a
good for you.
Another one?
Good for you. Another one?
No, with my
like one in every room.
You had to have one for the kitchen, damn it.
You know?
I have a small big screen TV in my office here,
A small big screen TV.
but I've had that for a while.
It's only like 50 inches, so it's it's nothing.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
No, I can't steal Amy's. Yeah, baby. But
Now, hey,
Yeah, baby, yeah.
you guys, speaking of letters, did you guys get your? I got mine today. I don't know, maybe you guys did too. But did you get your assessed tax for conservatism from Lois Lerner today?
no, what's that?
I guess if you don't like the Democrats much and you think liberals are brain damaged, you're targeted, I guess, in this new direction they're going. It was an Obama directive, but yeah, it's $50, $50 to be a conservative now. So I thought that was odd. I'd had the email, but it disappeared. I don't know what happened to it. I got an email about it, and that just disappeared.
Well, if they charge $50 for conservative, and they include, like, let's say they start out with our Congress, they'll collect about what, $150?
If that. If that.
Yeah. Fortunately.
That's okay. ISIS is right over the border in Mexico. They've set up camp. They have a training camp facility already. They'll be
ISIS?
up in ISIS. They'll be up in D.C. before you know it.
We're going to be, I actually pulled in some of that for our topics. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. I didn't do a lot, but I got a lot of stuff plugged in, and we'll just bang our way through it.
Did you guys catch?
I'm always afraid to see anything like that because Brett may take it into a different direction.
Did you guys like that? Did you see the Onion story about ISIS's new plan of attack?
No.
It just shows a picture of a guy, like an ISIS guy, who's got a remote. And he's leaning back on the couch, and it's the title of the story, or the first sentence or so, is the FBI has unfoiled or uncovered a new attack strategy from the terrorist group known as ISIS. Their plan is just to sit back and relax and watch America implode on itself.
Yeah, no shit. That's all they need to do. They just want to get on the action. That's all.
Well, hey, you know what? If ISIS really wants to do something smart, if they want to destroy America and they really want to do it well, they should start taking all of their funding and put it towards Hillary's campaign and get that elected. So, I mean, I think that would do it.
See, the people on my page, God love them. They hate Hillary as much as I do. Calling her every name in the book.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna now these glasses. I'm not trying to like totally copy Brett, although originally
it was part of the thing.
Part of our thing was we were all going to do sunglasses and baseball hats or whatever, except the chicks. Chicks didn't have to.
Chicks don't have to do it.
Chicks don't dig it.
Yeah. And I've never been able to see with sunglasses until I got these prescription. They're trifling.
Nice. Wow.
Actually, yeah. So if I look right in the
they look good.
Part of it.
Look good.
Thank you.
Looking sharp there.
So I'm going to skip this. I'm going to skip this part right here. This one.
What?
Okay, I won't.
Is
I like it.
Okay.
some men you just can't reach. So you get what we had here last week.
For the last 6 years.
The way he wants it.
Yeah.
Well, he gets it. I don't like it any more than you, man.
I just love that.
Yep. It is good. That's classic. That's
Great movie.
And it really fits today. It's like
it really
you've got this failure to communicate them, and do you not understand? And then, well, you're gonna get what you asked for. I don't like it any more than you're gonna like it, but you know. So
very
let's
true.
right into Hillary. And what did I do? Oh, we're going to start out with a short little video, and I don't know who made this, some Republican PAC or whatever, but it's beautiful. It fits perfectly right now. It's what they're going to start out launching against Hillary. Let's watch this.
Increasingly, America is under attack. But the weapon of choice is not nuclear missiles, it's cyber attacks. And they're not just coming from our adversaries like
Rand
Russia,
Paul put this out.
China, and North Korea. The attacks are also from an enemy that has taken an oath to destroy us. Now, the most troubling news of all. It's been exposed America's own Secretary of State sent thousands of sensitive, classified emails through a personal, unsecured account. And it's placed America in
I got something to say about that.
an already dangerous world.
Of course you do.
If Hillary Clinton has created this type of disaster as our Secretary of State, how could we ever feel safe with her as our Commander-in-Chief?
Patriot Voices, great. Okay, paid for by Patriot Voices PAC, not authorized by any candidate. Okay.
I
Rand Paul.
I don't feel safe with her being on the planet. Never mind.
No, and I
Evil,
I
evil,
agree with
evil
that.
bitch.
Absolutely not. And
What?
it's
So are you afraid now, Brett, of being seen? I mean, like they're not gonna recognize you?
I know, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's my baby.
Is that? Whose baby is that?
That's my baby.
You see the baby.
Didn't you see that?
Oh, here, hold on. Let's see if I can get this done. All right. Let's see if
Get her
this works.
done.
All right. Oh, it's not going to happen. It's actually a pretty fun effect. But anyway, yeah, I am kind of afraid because, you start talking out against these liberals and things seem to happen. Negative things seem to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Oh, come on. Are you freaking kidding me?
What happened?
Right.
Oh, I gotta they're recording this again.
Oh, shit. It won't flare up.
I love the shock.
Oh, I gotta
Shocky coo.
they're recording this again.
I can't believe that won't come up or won't come clear.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, darn
How
it.
long do you think this guy will stay alive?
Oh, here it is.
Ex-British diplomat accuses Hillary Clinton of role in meltdown of Iraq.
What was that?
I saw that story too.
Say that again.
It says ex-British diplomat accuses Hillary Clinton of role in meltdown of Iraq.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know, Jim. I don't know if we were going to get into it earlier, but what we were chatting about earlier today, talking about the show tonight, and I just can't believe that. It's been what, a week and a half or 2 weeks at most since the basically, I guess the peak and then the plateau of the private server that she had in her own home, the exchange of emails, generally illicitly. Dealing with government issues, and yet she comes out like 2 weeks later, and she's I'm running for president, and we really live in a United States where basically the liberals and the Democrats are
they've lost their soul.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Are you still hot on Megyn Kelly?
Yes.
I've never been hot on Megyn Kelly, although I would like to make out with her.
I wouldn't
She was
want
on yesterday. Did you see her yesterday?
maybe part of it. Wait.
Oh,
Did we see her yesterday?
with Debbie Wash My Hair Schultz.
Did Brett?
I didn't see it, but
Brett
Jim
get
did.
that?
He talked about it earlier.
Did Brett get that? Watch.
Yeah.
Hey, did we see her yesterday?
Only
No.
in my dreams.
You have to find a conservative woman to whack off to, James.
A real
Because,
true conservative.
Yeah. Not one that will sit there and play footsie with Debbie Wash My Hair Schultz.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
it was absolutely ridiculous.
He-
The giddy, oh, ha, ha, ha. I'm like,
But Wasserman
kidding
Schultz
me?
did technically say that. I mean, she said if it's the birthday of the baby, it's between the doctor and the woman if they want to have it or not. She said full-term abortion.
wow.
And Megyn did get her to come out to say that. All hail Megyn Kelly. Just kidding.
Yeah, you didn't need for her to say that. She says, I mean, you know what they stand for. You know what I mean?
I know.
Megan, just, I don't know, she's another, what's her name, camarada there that was on Fox and Friends for how many years, and then went on with Bill Hemmer and for how many years, and then she goes over to CNN. Yeah, I'm all set with those people. Friggin' fake-ass people.
She is very much like Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly's even worse, I think.
Yeah, but at least Bill will call them on it and actually friggin' tell them they're jerks. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, O'Reilly walks the line way too much for me, but he at least will drill them into the ground like he did with Bonnie Frank, and like he does with a lot of his guests. Her, she's on there like, hey, ha, ha, like they're girlfriends, you know, in a beauty parlor. I was like, ugh.
Well,
she
did.
The time for being a diplomat is over, James.
She was diplomatic for sure. She was.
That's yes. And
when I say something without this,
she was a gracious host.
Gracious, yeah. You can be a gracious host and not act like you're all giddy together. She actually had Wasserman Schultz giggling with her and stuff. I'm like, oh God, make me puke.
Yeah. Can I say something without this being really weird before we move on?
I don't know.
I don't know what's
that.
You look really good tonight.
Who does?
Well, that's just awkward. Thank you, Jim. I mean, I try, but oh, you meant Amy. Oh.
Amy does.
Sorry.
Thank you, James. I don't feel great, but thank you.
You do. You look great. You look great tonight.
Amy's secret to beauty is try to feel like shit.
Oh, she does. Hey, speaking of that Chinese baby, all right, I think I got this to work, all right? So Brett puts that up, and let me see if I can get this to work just really quick, and then we'll move on.
Wait a minute, is this racist? We're going to lose that single Asian viewer.
My head, oh, my eyes. I can't get a hold of them. I just watched The Blast last night at 8 p.m. Pacific time. I saw JK and GP and Brett, who would not stop talking. And I saw my Canadian friend Andrew. Ooh, he's so funny. You need to watch The Blast at 8 p.m. every Sunday. Help me stop my eyes from moving.
I was going to say, he looks like a possessed baby.
It did, too. You cut it right before the baby threw up.
Yeah, really.
I did one where we were, what was it? We were in the clouds, and I played God.
Oh, God. No pun intended.
I'll find it later, but it was pretty funny because Brett kept talking about rubbing one out. We'll just say.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
rubbing one out in heaven?
Kind of. And I was saying how disappointed I was in him as God.
Oh, God.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on. We've got that out of the way. Blah 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 blah. Here. Okay. So today I saw something yesterday or today on one of these little blogs, and they were doing Hillary as old jokes.
Oh, that was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah. So old, she killed a Pony Express rider to keep her mail secret.
So the email server is not really a surprise. It's in a long history of deception.
Right.
Well, did you?
Right.
Yeah.
They came out with the they found the letter from I think it was the State Department specifically telling her you cannot use your own server. Period.
Oh, really?
She ripped it up and threw it away. Yeah, it came out this morning.
It's like nobody even cares.
And why wouldn't that be?
That's up to Congress to deal with that. Since the Justice Department won't, they're going to have to assign an investigator.
This is why we're in Bizarro USA, because she's committed a crime, and then she announced that she's running for president.
Yeah.
And people are like supporting her.
And exactly. The Dems are going to look to her to be their front runner, apparently.
Right.
And what's really scary is she could get elected because of the ignorance of the voter on the liberal side.
Right.
Although there was a Democrat on Sean Hannity's show tonight on the radio when I was driving home, and he was he's a liberal, I should say, and he said she's got to do something, and she's got to do it quick because she keeps talking about being like the middle class and helping the middle class. Yet she's publicly come out and said she's looking to raise $2.9 billion for her campaign, which is more than Obama and Romney's combined.
With a B.
With a B.
Wow.
And she's sitting there talking.
I'm going to bet they already have that money, and that's from the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah, from all the Muslim Brotherhood countries have donated generously. But yeah, so he's saying she's going to like self-implode. She's going to, if she doesn't come up with something fast. I just don't like talking about all that stuff because I think that gives them ideas. I think we give them ideas.
Yeah, be careful.
You know what I mean?
Like, right.
Every year that we come out, we'll say, oh, we're going to do this, that, and the other thing, and all of a sudden they start countering it and they actually start cleaning up what we've told them is screwed up, and they win.
I think that because the White House came out a couple of days ago and did not endorse her because they said, look, president's got many friends, which he doesn't, but they said because he doesn't get along with Congress.
Well, he has many friends, not in this country.
Yeah, not in this country.
Many friends, yeah.
And they said, so we're waiting to see how the whole thing shakes out before he decides. And that tells me that when Jim Webb came out and there's another guy, I forget his name, they came out, these guys are going to come out and run against her, and they're going to have to because she is I'll show you a MSNBC poll here, her own people in just a minute. They're gonna be forced to do this. Run through some of these old. I mean, these are everyone's getting involved in it.
Hysterical.
When she only had to burn some floppy disks to get rid of evidence.
Did you see the Saturday Night Live one? Skip?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
That was awesome. This one, I can get you where you want to go, Miss Crazy, but it's going to cost you.
Ain't that the truth?
More genteel time. She could be Bill's
girlfriend's correct. That one's awesome.
Awesome. Hillary's so old. She cast the first stone. Seriously. That was the first stone. And she saw Handel
open for Bach.
Awesome. I don't know who Handel is, but
he's awesome. Handel's Messiah.
Composer. Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Messiah. Yeah.
Hillary's so old. She had papyrus.
Papyrus route.
That's had a papyrus route instead of a paper route.
That's great.
So old. She walked out of a museum.
The alarm went off.
Hillary's so old.
These are great.
Actually remembers the Alamo.
I think she's toast, guys. I really think she's toast.
Every time Ben-Hur is on, she screams, "That's not how it happened." I didn't even read any of these before I put them on.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Hillary's so old, she stuck around St. Petersburg and saw it was a time for a change, killed the Tsar and his ministers. Anastasia screamed in vain. All right, let's just see, because I didn't do. Okay, MSNBC did a poll, and I answered the poll. I took it. Came up on Facebook or somewhere, and I wanted to see 86% of the people on the MSNBC poll. These are her own people. MSNBC said no, that they would not vote for her. That's 30,000 votes right there that said no. The next one is answers 3 yes. Out of all those, 4,300, 4,000 said yes, 30,000 said no, and 621 said maybe. So if their own polls are showing this and they keep doing that, they're going to have to run somebody else. They will. They're
absolutely.
going to have to, not like Lincoln Chafee or somebody like that, just to say that
I think they gotta have a couple people in there as tokens.
Well, Brett and I were talking this morning about that. It's kind of like you get a championship fighter or somebody that you think's a champion, and you want to keep them safe, so you bring in a person to fight him who's like won 3 fights and lost 35. You know, you bring in a pumpkin to fight him.
Well, you know, here's the thing though, is that if the Dems are going to hang their hats on Hillary Clinton, they're going to have to be very careful if anybody else jumps into the race. There's going to be a lot of closed-door conversation before they do, because eventually Hillary's going to have to debate this person or go head-to-head, face-to-face, and they're going to have to discuss what they would do as the Democratic nominee. And believe me, if the gloves come off, whoever she's going up against could destroy her and make her look that much worse. Because they're going to use tactics to get that nomination to be the Democratic frontrunner, just like will happen once those two positions are decided, Republican and Democrat, which, again, I think is a travesty that we only have 2 choices. But, I mean, once those two go against each other, I mean, the Republicans are obviously going to attack her. But she's going to be in a unique position to where her own party will have people that want to attack her. Because I don't even think many of them agree with her. Who is Hillary's friend right now? I mean, how is she? Who said, yeah, go do it. Go run. That's a good idea.
I know.
Yeah.
It's almost like a given of this. There's a certain arrogance, like all the jokes. You know, it's my turn. It's my turn.
Right.
For me, it all falls back to the fact that we're just coming. Okay, forget Benghazi. That was months ago, and we don't even need to talk about that. That's all forgiven because obviously it's under the bridge now. Water under the bridge. We're done. Well, the emails, they're missing. The hard drives are wiped. I mean, we've been through this with the IRS. Oh, but the IRS doesn't count. That was a while ago. We know that's water under the bridge. But here she is saying, I'm going to run for president just within weeks of this happening. People are so stupid, they don't seem to care.
The extreme arrogance of this woman is beyond belief.
Well, here's another example.
Let me say this, so shut up.
Okay.
It's not arrogance that she has. It's confidence that the voter that would vote for her is so ignorant that they won't even take into account her crimes and her deceptions.
But here is another commercial that they're going to run against her that is going to – they're going to have to run somebody else because she cannot sustain this. Watch this. She cannot sustain this. There's no way. It goes.
You know, our Constitution is being shredded. We know about the secret White House email accounts.
And Secretary Clinton unilaterally decided to wipe her server clean and permanently delete all emails from her personal server.
I'm proud of the work we have done to elevate diplomacy and development.
Our allies don't trust us. Our enemies don't fear us.
The death of an American ambassador.
3 members of a U.S. security team on the ground in Benghazi.
What difference at this point does it make?
The Senate Intelligence Committee review found the attack was preventable. The report blamed the State Department for not increasing security in Benghazi.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, they wanted to reset relations with Russia and with Putin.
How'd that go?
How's that work out?
Not really working out well.
The Russian military now being directly involved in fighting Ukrainian government forces.
Many of the members of Congress of both parties who have gone to Syria have said they believe he's a reformer. I remember landing under sniper fire. There was no greeting ceremony, and we basically were told to run to our cars. Now that is what happened.
There was no sniper fire.
I misspoke. I would totally misspoke. But we came out of the White House not only dead broke, but in debt.
Looking at the book advance she had, was leaving the White House $8 million plus.
You know what? Rich people, God bless us.
Quinnipiac University found Hillary Clinton's lead is dwindling against Republican candidates.
A new poll out this morning shows former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton losing ground
in key states, including Iowa.
Are you saying America should blindly trust her judgment?
Just one set of rules for the Clinton. You remember Whitewater? Do you remember Foulgate? Do you remember Travelgate? Do you remember Pardongate? Do you remember Benghazi?
Less than half say Mrs. Clinton is honest and trustworthy.
I think I'm probably the most transparent person in public life.
That's because she keeps getting caught.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, how do you like that?
But something like
that's
that, that's a brilliant ad, but something like that is going to spur the Democrats to actually get a person who can win.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, though. They are going to be forced to get another candidate because there is nobody that can sustain what they're doing, that kind of an onslaught.
We got to say this, though, too. Anybody but her. I mean, honestly, if they put up 2 other Democrats, I would quickly vote for one of them. You know, I mean, I'm just saying, just anybody but her. She is the definition of cheating, career, deceptive. I mean, she is the definition of evil politician, as it were. All the cliches apply to her, and she has examples of all the cliches.
She reminds me of Putin, to be honest with you. Now, just so that, I mean, this is my own personal thing. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I'm just going to be honest. Hillary is not the only liberal that I don't like.
What?
Nope.
There's more?
Really?
Marco Rhino.
Yeah. Marco Rhino.
I made this sign the other night because I got an email from him. It says Marco Rubio, so I took it out and I added the little rat and the milk. But that was the real verbiage on there. Jim, just moments ago I announced in Miami that I'm running for president. I made this decision because blah, blah, blah. So I cut out all the rest of it. But this guy spent the last 3 years supporting Chuck Schumer's immigration bill. And he first said that it was job one to secure the borders. And then he comes out and starts saying, well, we can do that later. So this is it. We're going to secure the border. We need to know these people, who these people are, border security first, but no border fence enforcement, no visa tracking in our law, and border security isn't a precondition. The 2 faces of Marco. He's dead to me. I'm sorry. Dead to me.
Yeah.
But he did have a great speech the other night. That blurb was great when he said, person from yesterday,
Obama had a great speech in 2008.
Yeah, no, I don't think Obama ever had a great speech. I don't think he's a great orator. I don't like he just sucks. But anyways, that blurb that he came out with to slam Hillary Clinton, I thought was great. But I'm not a huge fan of Marco Rubio. Yeah. I mean, I don't totally dislike him, but he's not Ted Cruz, baby. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, this guy I don't like. I don't want to say I hate this guy, but this guy just is he's a little bitch. All right, ISIS on the border. This is what.
Wait, before we go to that, you just said you got one from Marco Rubio. I got one even better.
Okay.
I got one from John McCain. My friend, I will soon make my decision on running for re-election, and one thing is certain: I will not be able to run a successful campaign unless I have your support. Well, I guess you're shit out of luck there, John, because you don't have my support. I promise you, I am not one of them.
He actually said the words, I promise you I am not.
I will post this on the blast. I made a screenshot. I did a snippet. Yeah. And bolded. I promise you I am not one of them.
Oh.
You can't make this stuff up. You can't. You just cannot make it up. It's like almost like he doesn't think that we've seen what he's done in the last 8 years.
That's impressively bad.
You know what I mean?
That is just impressively bad.
Exactly, Jim. Exactly.
Yeah, right?
It's like that little thing that said, what the F did I just read?
Yeah. I didn't pull out the whole story on this, but because it just kind of blows my mind on here. Okay, so I saw the first blurb on Megan after she got done sucking face with Debbie Schultz.
Wash my hair, Schultz.
Yeah.
Because it always looks dirty.
She does. She always looks like she just had backseat sex.
Looks like she smells. Yeah, she looks like she smells. She's just gross. Go ahead.
Had a bath in months. ISIS fighters are operating training bases near the U.S. southern border and are being aided by violent drug cartels to smuggle terrorists into states like Texas, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so at first I thought, I'm not even going to show this because this is just stupid. But then I got looking at it because my thought was it's stupid. Well, ISIS right there. Why don't we send a drone in? Why don't we do something about it? Is this serious?
A more subtle question would be this: why would the drug cartels want to damage their customer base?
Right.
I mean,
good point. Good point.
If ISIS came in and started hitting targets and it threw our economy all off, and you know, people might just get a little focused elsewhere, and you know, maybe it's easier to bring drugs in, but maybe people stop buying them as much because they can't get them. They don't have the money. I don't know. You're sending people to attack the people that want to give you money for your product. I don't get that.
Amy?
I don't know. I think you know, sometimes you know, you sleep with you lay down with the dogs are gonna get the fleas type of thing. I think one of the you know, Chief Bebo there, Bebo, is that how you say his name? Bebo?
Yeah.
The sheriff down there on the border.
Oh yeah.
He said that they actually the drug cartels are being used kind of like contractors, like our contractors in Iraq. So they'll sit up on the hills, and the extremists will be pouring across the border, and if anyone tries to stop them, they have high-powered rifles, and they shoot at them and kill them. So
well, it's kind of a deal with the devil too for the drug cartels, because if ISIS ever managed to gain some level of power, I mean, they would wipe out the cartels because it would be against their religion and the drugs and the thing and the evil that they do, and they wouldn't be on the most popular list.
Right.
Of course, I guess when a demon makes a deal with the devil, who cares?
I mean, do you guys buy the story that ISIS is sitting right there off the border and we haven't done anything about it? You think?
Mm-hmm.
It's just scare tactic.
I wouldn't be surprised to find out that there is
on both sides of the border loaded up.
But
well, I mean, Sean Hannity for years now has said he's gone down there. They found all the prayer mats. They found all of the you know, the pro-terrorist pamphlets and stuff, you know, in the desert. They found all this stuff. They've been there. They've been camping out for years. So why wouldn't ISIS come over why wouldn't they, like, they've been there for years. So why wouldn't they just
right?
They don't have to come across the you know, by boat anymore. They're already there. You know?
I tend to think it's more scare tactic than anything else. It's a story that's released that really has no foundation per se. It goes right along with, I mean, what I find even more disturbing are the stories that are coming out about the no-go zones in some of the larger metropolitan areas where the Muslims have enacted Sharia law. Like there's actual, you'd just be driving through a part of town and all of a sudden all the signs are in Arabic, and you know, the police won't enter those areas. Now, this hasn't been founded, but I'm hearing more stories about it. So, I mean, the pockets are already evolving right here, and I believe more than there's a bunch of ISIS guys sitting right off our border. And it's kind of like, if they were coming in through Mexico, they sure could come in a group. It would be too noticeable. They'd have to come in 2 at a time, 4 at a time.
They were coming in with the illegal immigrants. They said that all these Arabic people, there are a lot of these Arabic people coming in pretending to be 12, 15-year-old Mexican or Guatemalan kids, and they're not.
Right.
They're not. They don't speak
Spanish. That would make a great disguise too.
So
yeah, I mean, they're coming in droves like that.
Let me give you one of the best. I don't know. I think one of the best scenarios at all, if you were a terrorist. Okay, talk about sleeper cells. You see my shirt right there, okay? Right?
Right.
You know how I got that shirt? At the mall, there's a kiosk. And the kiosk, they print T-shirts. And in the kiosk, they have this like a cabinet that you have lifted open, and it's just filled with T-shirts. They got all their stuff. And it's run by these 4 or 5, what do we want to, well, they're Muslims. I talked to them. They're from, one of the main guys from Egypt. And we had a great conversation about religion, about Islam, about everything. Long conversation. He believes that Jesus has never died. He believes that Judas entered Jesus' body, and Jesus went straight up to heaven, and Judas was the one that took all the beating and the punishment and died, and that Jesus is going to come back and fight everybody and lead the army against everything, and during Armageddon, then when the world's going to implode, everybody converts to Islam, to the true peace. That's what he believes, that Jesus is going to lead everybody into Islam and all that. So, long story short, I needed the particular T-shirt. They didn't have it. So he goes, oh, no problem. He goes, I'll bring it in tomorrow. These guys are renting, and they have spots at Lloyd Center, at Clackamas Town Center. They've got friends, and they've got these kiosks all over the country. T-shirt setups or whatever. These guys are already employees renting spaces in malls. Nobody's checking their loads of T-shirts that they bring in every couple of days and set in their bins ready to sell. Easily could put a bomb in every single one of those at one certain time, and they could either be there or not. Hit your telephone, set it off, and boom. Those guys are already in the malls.
Right.
They have the access. They don't need to like bring a bomb in and get sniffed out. They just bring it in with their own inventory of T-shirts.
Right, but you know what? They're not the ones we need to worry about. It's the right-wing radicals. They're the real threat, Jim.
Exactly.
Damn.
You know the guy that owns the Orange Julius, the white guy that owns. We don't see what he's bringing in that bottom of the box of that bottom of oranges there. I mean, we don't know what's in there.
True.
I mean, that top layer is oranges. Everything else C4. I mean, Orange Julius. Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So I was going to actually start the show with a cool story. I wanted to start on a good note.
I remember reading that.
I forgot. I'm so frustrated and angry. I forgot about that whole positive thing we had to have going on.
Yeah. So I'm gonna end the show with the cool story. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get. I just want to show one quick thing, and then we're gonna do the lighter side, which has a ton of fun stuff in it, and then the cool story. So anyways, I saw this picture. Let's see if I could bring it up here. God, I'd sure love a latte.
Would that be weird if one showed up?
Look at this.
So weird.
I saw this picture come across, and it said, broke people be like, how much is this going to cost me? Entrepreneurs be like, how much is this going to make me? You know who that did that? Some girl named Crystal Noel Nobrega. My daughter.
Sounds like a weirdo to me, but...
Yeah, my daughter. She posted like, that's right. Nothing good or worthwhile comes free. You got to work your butt off and do what it takes to get what you want. Nobody's going to hand it to you. I love her work ethic. I love her sense of what it, she started this little thing that's called It Works or whatever. They put these the wraps around you and stuff, and I'm trying it, and Lisa's going to start selling it, but she's doing great with it.
Good.
And, yeah.
Nice.
So I post that, and now my pet peeve. I'm going to run through pet peeve really quick.
Do we have time for all of these?
Yeah. Look at this. I am getting so pissed off with Amy and me probably are more. I don't know if you do this, Brett, but me and Amy have a lot of likes and feeds that we get notifications from right-wing news, Revolution, the Chicks on the Right, all this stuff, right? And all these things coming through, Mad World News and all that. I'm getting so pissed off that I want to start a segment calling these people out when they need to be called out. Now, there's some good ones.
Goddamn bait clicker.
I hate the bait clickers.
The bait clickers.
This came out the other day from the Revolution. And they also tied in with something called the 3%ers. So it says, breaking news, president shot while attending theater with his wife. Now,
I thought this was a joke, though, right when I saw it. I didn't think this was serious.
Talking about Lincoln or whatever, probably.
It was.
Dude, really? And so this next one, I only did 2 of them. This next one, Seattle business owner to pay $70,000 a year to every employee. Okay, right there. That's going to catch your attention. You want to read it, blah, blah, blah. But no, they have to go on and go, there's one big problem, though. So you click on it, and you're like, well, what is that one big problem? Oh,
every employee is a doctor.
Oh, look, I didn't even realize it, but there's my response to them. Your headline says there's one big problem, and your article didn't say what it was. So make your story match your freaking headline. Hate that.
So,
Yeah,
well, now I
supposedly.
want to know what the problem is.
They said something about the polls or something say that's at 70,000 people are at their happiest.
Yeah.
Anything above that, it's like 60 or 69% happy or something like that. Anything above that, it just kind of goes flat. So,
Yeah. But
which leads me to believe that they're trying to BS us into thinking that if you made $200,000 a year, you aren't going to be happy. You know, you're not going to be any happier than you were making $70,000 a year, which we all know is a
Happy
load of
with-
crap.
Be satisfied with complacent.
Yeah, you know, we all know it's a load of crap. So they're just trying to dumb us down. But you know, if those people, like some of those people, like they said, their salary doubled and some actually tripled. So
yeah.
you know, and he lowered his salary from like $2 million or $3 million a year to $70,000 a year.
Yeah, like one or 2 million to
Yeah.
to 70,000 with the latte that just got delivered.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, because he didn't invest, like, before he made this decision, he didn't, like, invest in all kinds of stuff or buy tons of gold or something like that so that he's never poor, right?
Right.
Yeah, no. We're supposed to believe he's just going to be able to be happy and live as an entrepreneur at $70,000 a year.
But my thing was though is that the story is what it is for whatever it is, but don't add on something in big headlines like you're looking for some big problem that could.
I know. I hate that when they do that.
Bugs me. All right, so let's get to the side. And I just have to do it. Just for a minute.
I do love that.
All right, we're going to do a lot of things.
What is this one?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, so here. Oh, let me put that up. There we go. What do you think that says? What's the name of that show?
Wheel of Fortune.
That's it. Wheel of Fortune.
Why does she still exist? Why? What is she? She could just stand over there and just point, you know?
I know.
Thing going on in the ass tonight. Something in the
Yeah,
ass.
well, of course, obviously, where's your dirty mind going to go? And
Say luck be in the air tonight. The internet probably
wow.
luck be in the air tonight.
That's awesome.
So if you can't do that, then yes, the internet's probably ruined you. Oh, shoot.
So fresh.
Let me start over. This is
I love Live Leak, by the way.
Oh, wait, watch this. There's the headlines. I did it backwards. Of course, it wouldn't be a show if I didn't do something backwards, right? ISIS does fireworks. Okay, this is awesome. Watch this. That's the wind blowing. So now look, watch that thing flying up in the air. Boom. That was the guy's car. First, the car got shot up into the air, and the car is flipping around, and then it blows up.
Yeah, baby.
They were coming towards the Kurdish army. Now watch, they'll show it in slow motion.
That's pretty crazy.
Awesome. So he's racing his truck towards the Kurdish. It explodes. Now there goes his truck.
Yeah, there you go.
Truck.
That's a big idea, I gotta tell you.
And at that point, he's thinking, I might get out of this.
It's the fireworks. Isn't that awesome?
Oh, wow.
That's a beautiful thing.
Somebody caught that. Yeah. All right. So let's go. The suicide bombers thing is airborne.
It's a big-ass explosion, too.
All right.
Who's getting announcements?
I need to change.
I don't think I am. I kept hearing it. That was because I keep looking. Is it me? And I don't have anything. Nobody likes me. So
appointment I need to follow up on tomorrow. You guys recognize that?
An old shovel or an old key? Depends on, I don't know.
What do you think that might be used for? Anyone?
That would be used for opening a tin.
Yeah,
Used
there
for
you
opening
go.
a tin of sardines. That's a can key. Crisco.
There you go.
Can opener.
Funny how people like in different genres or eras would not know what that is. If they had one clear in their hand, they wouldn't know what that is.
I'm not sure I'd know how to use it. I mean, on that can, I'm not really sure. Now here's something that's real funny, and this is true.
Yeah, there's a little tab around somewhere around here, around where the end is.
On the outside.
Yeah, I think you're right. You actually stick it in and twist it.
On the inside and the outside, yeah.
Yeah, it cuts through around the top.
Around, yeah.
So here, this is true story, and it actually lends to this. I'm glad this is one of the pictures you put up.
Yeah.
The other night, going to feed my dog, and I buy him this very nice, the Blue Mountain dog food. It comes in the can. It's the higher end. He's an older dog, and he seems to love it. And so it's got the pull top can. So I go to pull, and the tab snaps off sideways, and I'm like, and I'm like, that's a $3-4 can of food. This is now what am I gonna do? I'm not just gonna throw this away. So I'm looking for something. I'm like, well, how do I'll pop the top in. And then it honestly took me about a minute and 20 seconds before I went, oh my God, I could actually twist a can opener and open it. And so I did, and I was like, I mean, convenience, it was proof to me in that brief moment. Convenience and technology makes you stupider. Because it didn't occur to me right away, I just use a can opener. Nope, the tab's gone. Throw the can away.
Yeah, that's like that thing, girls, boys from Mars, girls from Jupiter, girls are smart and boys are stupider.
Well, you know what I thought Brett might say?
What's that?
Oh, it took me about a minute, and then I remembered that Jim played this video on our show one time that the guy had a can of tuna, he turned it upside down, and he goes, shh, rubbing that thing for a good 30 seconds on the cement, and then turned it over, poked it, and pulled it right off. You don't remember that, do you, Brett?
I don't remember that one. That's been a long time.
Yeah, I remember that. That's right.
I
wouldn't remember it until you just said it, though.
That was about 900 cocktails ago.
I was going to say that was a week ago.
Yeah.
That was last week, Brett. We just talked about it this morning.
I love this. A group photo of everyone who cares. Let's see here. Next one up. Okay, with big screen TVs. With the cat.
I know. Is that funny?
Isn't that awesome? I've had that sitting on my desktop for like, I don't know, 6 months, and I always wanted to share.
True.
Never did. All right, I didn't make this one up.
I love him.
Click this off really quick. I'm not even going to read it out loud.
You know what's funny is he probably actually said that.
I wouldn't put it past him.
All right, now please indulge me for a second. I know you guys aren't the biggest Jody fans, but I watched it before the show to make sure it was okay to watch, and I think you guys will like it.
Jody.
So we're gonna give her a roll.
What difference?
Jim Crow Day. Most radical. Time to try something new.
Hey everybody, welcome to News Busted. I'm Jody Miller. Let's get started. Hillary Clinton officially announced her candidacy on Twitter, and here's hoping Anthony Weiner will not be endorsing her on Instagram. President Obama is praising a nuclear deal with Iran, although it's not actually a deal. It's more like an outline of a template, of a framework, of a blueprint, of a rough draft of a deal. Senator Rand Paul announced he is running for president. He promises smaller government and more freedom, or as Democrats call it, treason. Congratulations to Congo Mayor Rahm Emanuel, who has been re-elected to a second term. Emanuel credits his campaign Get Out the Vote effort, which had volunteers going door to door and grave to grave. The United Nations Security Council held an emergency session on the crisis in Yemen, or, as President Obama calls it, the success in Yemen. At Howard University, President Obama discussed the impact of climate change on public health. Yeah, it seems the global warming is causing more and more of us to get frostbite. Madonna took a crack at performing stand-up comedy on The Tonight Show last week. Her performance was such a bomb, Homeland Security set up a perimeter around the studio. And finally, the National Enquirer reports that Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi have split up. Friends say Portia walked out because Ellen kept leaving the toilet seat up.
Ellen is one of the coolest guys.
Be sure to
All right, so that was a good one, right?
That wasn't bad. Jody's all right. I mean, I don't dislike Jody.
No, I know. She's got a dry sense of humor.
She does, and it's, well, anyway.
All right. This I thought was funny. I saw it today. A Marine Corps general was interviewed recently, and the interviewer grilled him about guns and children. How he responded is one of the best all-time comebacks of all time. Regardless of how you feel about gun laws, you got to love this. The general was about to greet a Boy Scout troop on base. Female reporter. So, General, what things are you going to teach these young boys when they visit your base? General, we're going to teach them climbing, canoeing, archery, and shooting. Female interviewer. Shooting. It's a bit irresponsible, isn't it? General, I don't see why. They'll be properly supervised on the rifle range. Female interviewer. Don't you admit that this is a terribly dangerous activity to be teaching your children? General, I don't see how. We will be teaching them proper rifle discipline before they even touch a firearm. Female interviewer. But you're going to be equipping them to become violent killers. General, well, you're equipped to be a prostitute, but you're not one, are you? What a great, I mean, and that sounds like it would actually, come from a general.
Something to say.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's good, too. I like that.
Yeah.
That's like the Marine one that says, when the reporter says, don't you feel anything when you shoot someone in the, someone in the head? And he just turned to look at her and said, recoil.
Yep.
That's all I feel.
Yep.
That's funny. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it when they come up with some good zingers. By the way, the ISIS camps.
Yeah.
Judicial, just on a quick note, supposedly Judicial Watch came out with the report. ISIS is operating a camp just a few miles from El Paso, Texas. According to Judicial Watch sources that include a Mexican Army field grade officer and a Mexican federal police inspector. The exact location where the terrorist group is established its base is around 8 miles from the U.S. border in an area known as Anapra, situated just west of the Ciudad Juarez in the Mexican state of Chihuahua. Another ISIS cell to the west of Ciudad Juarez is Puerto Palomas, targets the New Mexico towns of Columbus and Deming for easy access to the United States. The same knowledge sources confirm.
But that's the thing. We've got drones. We've got people. I don't understand that. I mean, I don't know.
Because they're not. He doesn't. They don't. Obama's willingly letting them in. He's willingly letting in hundreds of thousands of Muslims into the country from Syria. It's like they're pouring in.
It's true.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything. Not until we get the next president. So then they'll unleash hell on them. But until then.
And in 2 years, it could be a lot of damage done here.
There will be a lot of damage done here before he's done.
I predict you're going to start seeing more workplace violence where people's heads are cut off. I don't know. Call me crazy. I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me, too, now that the Republicans took over both the House and the Senate, how little has actually gotten done you know, people obviously voted a different direction because they were fed up with the way Obama was headed, and nothing's changed, nothing's happened, nothing's there's no we're putting our foot down and we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Nothing's happened, nothing. It's exactly how it was, which really just makes you think. I mean, this quote-unquote two-party system when we should have an 8-party system, you know.
I was listening to Glenn Beck today because he had Mike Lee on, and they were talking about Glenn Beck was concerned that Marco Rubio has this tax plan that will double people's taxes, and it will raise like your tax rates up to 35% or whatever. So, but one of the signers, the co-sponsor of it is Mike Lee. So Glenn Beck was like, okay, so if Mike Lee is a co-signer, then maybe we're not understanding something here. And they really raked Mike Lee over the coals with this today and said, look, and Mike Lee said, look, we can't get from here where we're at now to there, meaning to just a simple flat tax. We have to do this in small bites and change things over this. And so Glenn goes, so what you're saying is we can't change a tire going 150 miles an hour. Mike Lee's like, yeah, exactly right. And he says, well, and Glenn Beck says, well, you know, Obama and the Democrats have changed the tire going 150 miles an hour already on things like healthcare and everything else. So he goes, there's no better time in our history after what the IRS has been targeting Americans and used as a weapon. And you guys own both houses. There's no better time to completely dismantle and revamp the IRS, redo the whole thing. And you know, so
a flat tax, people don't realize that a flat tax would apply to everybody and every entity and every business, and it would be 10 pages long as opposed to 35,000 pages long.
You know what they said today? It came out. So Glenn Beck said, look, I think a lot of people, he goes, let's say, for instance, he goes, no, Mike, you know the numbers better than I do, but isn't it the government ends up net collecting about 18 to 19% tax overall in general? Mike Lee goes, yes, no matter what we do to the tax rates, to the rich or to anybody else, we end up with about 18 to 19% net income or tax. So Glenn goes, then why don't you just have a flat 15% tax or a flat, you know, for people making 100,000 or less, it's a flat 15%. You make 100,000 or more, it's a flat 20%. Done.
Yeah.
Right. It's just that easy too. But see, again, you're talking about common sense, and our government doesn't have it.
Mike Lee is the sponsor of Marco Rubio's thing, and that's what they're starting their negotiations with. You should start really low, knowing you're going to have to negotiate up a little bit with these people. So I don't know. I don't think there's any hope with Rubio or any of these guys.
No, there is not.
Anyways, you guys got anything we should talk about before we hit the cool story?
I just can't wait for the cool story.
It really is a cool story. I think 2 of them.
We want the cool story.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I was going to.
We want the cool story. We want it now.
Video, and then I decided, nah, I'm going to do this. All right, so it starts out. My cool story of the week. Matthew 17:20. He replied. Now this has to do with the story. Because you have so little faith, truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. End of the story. Next. I'm just kidding.
That was great. All right.
Yeah, that was a cool story.
Very positive. Now here's a story about a young crippled boy who moved a mountain.
Now, in life, we all know this passage. You guys have knew that before I read it. As soon as I started to read it, everybody knows that by heart, pretty much. And we're all thinking, well, you know, I've asked him for a lot simpler things than a freaking mountain, and it doesn't happen. So yeah, it sounds nice, but it just doesn't. It's not really real. Well, check this out. This is a true story about of the man who broke a mountain. It took him 22 years, but he proved everyone wrong. That's the guy right there. That was the mountain, and that was the end result. He finally got help once it was all done to get it paved, but he went and so here's this guy's story of this. When you live in a small town, you often have to travel to other nearby, this is in India, other nearby towns for supplies. Usually that means if the town is 1 mile away, you travel 1 mile to get there. For the people of Galhar, a 300-foot mountain stood between them and the nearest town, Wajiring or whatever. Galhar was a very poor and did not have a school, hospital, or any jobs. To access these things, the only options for the people were to walk 45 miles around the mountain or risk life and limb climbing over it. The climb was difficult, dangerous, took hours, blah, blah, blah. One day, a man named Dashrath was working to collect wood for his family on the other side of the mountain. It was a long, hard work, so his wife climbed over the mountain to deliver him some food when she fell. She was hurt, and their dishes had broken. Dashrath decided that was enough. This is a true story. I've seen the video on it and everything. How many years have people been falling and breaking pots, he wondered. Dashrath was going to put an end to that. He sold the family's 3 goats to these Muslim. No, I'm just kidding. He sold the 3 goats in order to buy a hammer, chisel, and crowbar. Those were the 3 items right there that he used to do this with, and decided to break his way through the mountain. Everyone in town thought it was impossible. Even his brother had wondered if he had gone mad. This was too big of a risk for one man, or task for one man, and how on earth could he continue to earn a living for his family? What single man could break down a mountain that stood over 300 feet high? This is the guy's son right here. Given 22 years, Dashrath could, every day he worked plowing the fields of other people from 8 a.m. until 1 in order to feed his family, from 4 a.m. until 8 a.m., and again from 1 p.m. until late in the evening. He chiseled down the mountain so he could feed his dream. Finally, after many years of hard work, he was done. Dashrath had cut the mountain. With just his hands and rudimentary tools, he had created a path 25 feet high, 30 feet wide, and 360 feet across.
Amazing.
Wajiring was now only a 3-mile walk for the men and women who worked for the children to go to school. Dashrath didn't stop there. He pushed for the road to be connected to the main road so the 60 villages of Atri region could access it. He walked along the railway lines to New Delhi to submit a petition there for this road to be paved, as well as for a hospital for his people, a school, and clean water. Dashrath passed away from cancer in 2007, but his legacy and dream of a better community live on in the people he knew, and with every life he helped make better. He inspired those he knew and continues to inspire those who learn about history. Dashrath believed that through his work he could uplift not just his family or the village, but the entire community, and in doing so, he felt that he would never die. Today, his friend Ramcharit Prasad manages the Dothrash Manji Welfare Trust to set up an employment training school in his honor. This school would educate and give skills training to everyone, especially girls, to give them a chance to create a better life in Galhar. Dashrath is used as an example of motivation for the children. Even when things seem impossible, if you believe in yourself, you can create lasting change. So the video shows his friend talking to this school filled with girls. and young kids, and he is telling them education, education, education. He says, especially the girls, to be educated. Because if you're not an educated girl, he said, you're going to get married off. And this way, if you all pay attention to your education, you have a chance to do anything you want in this life. And he uses Dashrath, his friend, as an example through this. It just really moved me when I saw this story. Yeah, it was so cool. I mean, I could have played it's a 6-minute video, and it goes into more stuff, but it's just...
It's sad, too, because if you'd have done that here, he'd have gotten arrested for, like, environmentalism or environmental terrorism or something for cutting through the... You didn't have the permits.
Yeah.
Cool story, though.
It's amazing how some people can even think to do that. You know what I mean? Like, who would think to do that?
Right. And when I started out that passage, if you just have a faith as small as a mustard seed. Do you know how small a mustard seed is? I mean, you can barely see the damn thing. And a mustard tree gets fairly big. And here this guy had this small amount of faith. He said, I can move this mountain. I can do this. So really, I think what we do in life is we limit ourselves by what we think we can or can't do. There's an old saying, if you think you can or can't, you're right.
It's true.
Another cool story. Love this guy. I saw Fast and Furious the other day. Fast and Furious star stops truck for a man chasing after him. When he starts it again, he's in tears. The actor Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock, is known among his fans for surprising them. However, this time, it was one of his fans who took him off guard.
I love him.
Yeah. Look at this picture. Johnson recently shared a touching, this is off his Twitter account, shared a touching story of what happened to him this Easter. After finishing his workout, he was driving home and noticed that some, quote, kids were chasing after him in the rearview mirror. Thought to myself, should I stop or keep driving? I stopped. I hop out of my truck, and this kid runs up to me, hugs the hell out of me, and says, it's been his life's dream to meet me and tell me how much I've inspired him to fight cancer, the actor wrote on Instagram. Whom Johnson met was Nick Miller. He told The Rock that he had Hodgkin's lymphoma and has been through rigorous chemotherapy and stem cell transplant treatments. He was a little teary-eyed and said for months and months all he's wanted to do was find me and say this to my face-to-face. I told him what it meant to me to hear this story. Johnson thanked Miller for sharing, gave him a big hug, and drove away. As I'm driving, I start shaking my head and tearing up at how fragile life is and how amazing and cool the universe was to make this meeting happen between myself and this special kid, Nick Miller. And it says, let's always take a moment to count our blessings because there's always something to be grateful for. Happy Easter, y'all. DJ. Love that dude.
It's the only mountain I've ever wanted to climb.
Oh, jeez.
You're wanting to cry right now?
No, only mountain she's ever wanted to climb.
Oh.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
That is one hard rock.
Bleep.
Yeah, baby.
Beep. Yeah, so anyways.
Did you see him doing Shake It Off?
No.
You didn't see that?
Yeah. When he was on Jimmy Fallon.
When he's lip syncing? Yeah. The lip syncing competition. That show.
We played that on our show last week.
Yeah, I did see that.
Where were you? Oh, you were gone.
She was gone.
I was not around, yeah.
She had things.
How are you doing, by the way, with your thing, your personal thing?
It's coming along.
All of you guys live in the same area for the most part?
Yeah, the only one who Jim's referring to, my brother passed away. Anna's coming in. She's joining. Hi, Anna.
Bit late.
Hi, Anna.
Hi.
My brother Joel had come up the weekend before. He was in down in Florida, and because we were told, okay, 48 hours, and so he flew up, and then my brother's strong will lasted a week, and my brother Joel had to go back home. So, but at least he got to come up and say his piece and
right.
see him before he passed.
So, but mostly everybody else lives in the same area?
Yeah, we're all in Central Mass for the most part.
Wow, and you guys, that's just, wow, that just sucks. Hey, Anna.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
So,
oh, there it is.
You gonna do an update?
Let's see. Hold on. Look what I got. Right.
Prepare just in case.
Jeez, what timing?
I had that ready to go just in case. Did you guys see the actual video footage of her shooting that freaking machine gun looking thing?
Is this from the last trip or the first one?
This last one.
No, I did not.
He was firing off a freaking AK-47 M15 looking thing, right? What was it?
I think it was that, one of those, or an AR-15, something.
It was
heavy.
Yeah, you guys
looks bigger than that.
Can't see it well enough, but
yeah, you guys should go to her page and check out the video. She's got video of her shooting this thing. She didn't show the target she was aiming at, but
I actually did hit it. It was a long ways away.
well, if you hit it, it was probably an AR-15 because the Kalashnikov, you just kind of spray and pray.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was an AR-15.
Yeah.
It was quite heavy. My left shoulder was feeling mighty wimpy after only about 10 rounds.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'll tell you though, it makes you think about those little things that you don't with soldiers and whatnot. Just the weight of what they carry is just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he had the 90 to 110-pound gear.
So it says here, when I heard of what was happening at Bundy Ranch, and a Nevada County commissioner told Utahns to stay home or plan our funerals, that was my sure call to go down. No Americans are to be spoken to by leaders that way, ever. I also wanted to go see the truth of the situation for myself and not just rely on the news. Here are photos from my road trip and at the ranch with Buddha Cavalier and Carol Bundy. Carol's a dude?
No, I just tagged her in the picture because Cliven's in that picture.
Oh, okay.
Her husband.
All right.
He doesn't have I'm not friends with him on Facebook. I think he's just got a page, public page, not a actual friend page like Carol.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can't imagine him being a real Facebooker.
No, not at all. He's just a genuine rancher, straight up.
So how many people were there? What was it like? What happened? Why did everybody go? Give us the rundown.
Well, it was a brief synopsis. It was a very interesting trip, let's put it that way. There were a wide range of people that showed up. There wasn't much media. There definitely wasn't nearly as many people as last year. But this year, to me, it seemed like it really drew in a lot of the more extremists than it did just those who are looking to hold our government to be what they should be. So
wait. Say that part again. Explain. Say.
I think there's a difference between people who are passionate about the country and people who are extreme. I think once you tip from being passionate to being extreme, your message is lost. You've lost focus, and there were many of those there. But there were also others there who just do have a passion for the country and keeping that the government in check as far as their overreach. But there are just straight up some there who would just like to go to war, and I'm not a fan of that. Not comfortable at all with that.
our government doesn't need to be destroyed. It needs to be returned to our constitutional standard.
I agree 100%.
So that kind of leads me right here to a little story that I was going to play, and I don't know how appropriate this is or not. But again, this news feed or whatever that comes through the revolution, time to nut up 3%ers, because they're going door to door as we speak. As we speak, right? He's saying, and Anna, already I did a little segment that's my pet peeve on people putting what do you call them, Brett? Clickbait headliners?
Clickbait. Just clickbait.
Clickbait headliners. These stupid ass headlines that don't match the story, like sensationalizing it, being some freaking nut job. So this one says the government is going door to door as we speak now. And so you click on this thing, and it's breaking, National Guard going door to door, confiscating guns. And so then you read the story, and it was a picture of a National Guard guy standing at somebody's home, and they were just talking about whatever, who knows. And so you can hurt the cause by being crazy and stupid.
Exactly.
Like the loonies on the left do sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. And let me clarify real quick that Cliven Bundy did speak, and I've never, anytime I've been around him, which, I haven't been around him a ton, I've never heard him say anything that would want people to run out and grab their guns and create any problems. He's actually speaks very well. He's got some really good beliefs, and he's just, in my opinion, a genuine down-to-earth guy. But you also don't allow extremists to stand up on a stage and yell that they're the angry white man and we want to take it to people and this and that. And then don't be surprised when people call you racist if you're going to talk like a racist. That's just how it is.
Right.
That's what was going on down there.
I'm sorry?
That's what you saw down there this time.
There was some of that, but there was also there were genuine people there who just want to maintain the proper balance between the people and the government. But yes, of course, these things are going to draw in some of the scarier people. What you were just talking about a minute ago, I actually experienced. I had some guys who were sleeping in a tent area not far from me, and I kind of knew right off the bat that they were a little far, right? And I woke up to them literally locking and loading outside of my tent because they saw someone walking with a flashlight, and I'm like, you don't draw your gun on people going to a porta potty.
Right.
Chill out a little bit here.
Wow.
That's not what this is about,
People like that are there looking to get involved in something, as opposed to looking for a solution to the problem.
Exactly, and that's why I put out that post while I was there saying some people really need to do a check. Are you trying to divide and start a civil war, or are you trying to unite and inspire people? There's a huge difference. You have everlasting change through inspiring people. You don't get that through division and extremism. So
it's the truth.
I don't know how if you're not comfortable talking about this or saying this live on air, just say it. I'd rather not comment on it. But there's a guy who's been to the Bundy Ranch, and you've met him. Been kicked off Facebook a bunch of times. He's back on now. He's gone down there. But Blaine Cooper.
Yes. He was there. He didn't even acknowledge me.
He seems like a couple of years ago he seemed like he was right on target, and lately, this last 6 or 8 months, he seems like he's gone off the deep end.
Who is this now?
Huh?
Who is this now?
Blaine Cooper. Look him up. He he's former military, and he's the guy that everybody was cheering about 2 years ago because he lives in Arizona, and he went to a rally that John McCain was speaking at, and he stood up and told John McCain that if he were in charge, he would have been arrested for. So everyone was like, yeah. But then lately, this last 6 months or 8 months, you start to see more and more of his posts are more radicalized. It's just creepy.
Mm.
Am I wrong with that, or I don't know? I've never met the guy.
No, I have not followed his posts for quite a while, so I'm not sure with what you're talking about, but as for the general thought of what you're saying, yes, as soon as people start, like I said, tipping from being passionate about our country to being extremists about our country is when the problem is. When you're the one who believes in the Second Amendment and you want to carry and have a concealed carry, and you start being the one who straps your AR across your back to go shopping at, for your kids' school clothes, you probably need to check yourself and see what you're really trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Interesting. So, but you had somebody there kind of watching your back, didn't you?
I did, yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't have camped out down there by myself. Not a chance.
Did you go there with that person, or make arrangements to meet up, or?
I drove down most of the way, and then we drove down there together. Yes, but because you just never know.
You just didn't go down there blindly blissful.
Not like last year. I did that more last year, but this year I was planning on camping out, and so I did want to make sure I wasn't alone. If I had gone down there alone, I just would have gone to Mesquite and stayed at the Casablanca or something. So.
Didn't your sister go with you last year?
She did go with me. Yep, we weren't there very long, just that day.
Oh, okay. Right on. So
I kind of found that there's almost three types of people on the right side of this issue. There's, and I'm going to bring some religion into it. I think there's those who feel like God's going to win in the end, so they're just going to sit back and just not worry about it, let everything happen and not pay attention. I think there's the ones who are going to have a watchful eye. They're going to want to balance living in the United States while keeping an eye on the circumstances and step in when needed. And then there's the third ones who figure it's going to end a certain way in the end, but with a battle first, and they're going to progress it there as fast as they can. And that's not healthy. That's not a good place to be. I just think be a little bit more reasonable.
Those kind of people, I think, will usher in martial law and play right into Obama's hands. It's exactly what he wants.
Some people just don't get it. It's like they just don't get it.
I do genuinely feel from the speaking of Cliven Bundy that he gets it and he understands. So I gotta say that I've never heard anything bad.
Those anarchist types who like to.
Right.
We have the same on the right as they like to occupy Wall Street. The original intent was they wanted to voice their opinions about big business, whatever, and the scumbags come in and they destroy the whole movement. And that's so kudos that they haven't been able to destroy that whole thing, but. Like you said, they're gravitating towards it. Where does that whole thing stand at this point? Do you know?
With which part? What stand? I'm sorry.
With Clive Bundy and the ranch and the like that.
Yeah, right. As far as Cliven goes, he just tends to his ranch the best that he can, and he's mostly just he's working with it in the city halls and then, of course, any legal things that come along. I don't know. I have not stayed in contact enough to know. But there's nothing violent or anything going on. He's not.
Forgive me, 1 year anniversary or something?
It's amazing how fast these drop out of the news, these stories.
Yep.
It's amazing. No follow-up.
Anna, was this the 1 year anniversary? Is that why people went?
It is. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Great speaker from Wyoming. This black gentleman, I guess he ran for governor in Wyoming. I don't know his name, I apologize, but what a wonderful speaker. Just a uniter and really reminded people of the glory of our country and people and religion, and it was amazing. So there was a lot of that down there. I think one of the most difficult things that I experienced that I've never experienced before was doing a random interview of another black gentleman, and he was literally petrified of me posting that video because he thought he was going to have a lot of repercussion for just saying that he loved the country. And so I didn't post it. He found me like 5-6 hours later, gave me his business card literally and said, you know what, go ahead and post it, but will you send me the video so my family knows if I end up in jail, why I'm there. So I'm not posting that. I've never had someone that concerned about something that I was going to do, was going to put their life and livelihood in jeopardy. It was a very odd thing for me.
Isn't that sad?
It's very sad.
Very.
So what's his name, his phone number, and the city? Because we'd like.
We're going to call him. We're going to get him on the show.
My fiduciary duty has just kicked in.
We'll talk off the air. It'll be okay.
About there, approximate.
We'll be careful.
50, 100.
Oh, gee, 100 maybe.
100. Mm-hmm. And last year there was about 700.
Oh, I don't know at the standoff time how many, but there was a lot. I don't remember how many.
Yeah.
By the way, I was reading about Blaine Cooper there, and he and his kin are on their way here to Oregon because of that mining standoff going with the Josephine County Sheriff and the BLM, which is an interesting one. I thought that thing had already been put to rest, but I guess it's still coming to a head.
Yeah, it's that. What do they call it up in Rogue Valley or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw he was heading towards Oregon. But a lot of
obviously those things are effective. It did work last year. It did work to have the people take a stand, and those who went up didn't have their guns and whatnot when they were on their horses or whatever. I mean, that wasn't their goal to have a shootout with the government. That's not their preferred way. So so doing what happened last year does work, but like I said, you got to be cautious.
What's ironic is the government showed up in that situation last year ready to get into a gunfight.
Right, which is absolutely not right.
Yeah. It was basically it was a military action. I mean, you can call it what you want. You can call them whatever you want. Oh, it was just the police, or it was just it was a military action.
Right.
You know, within our borders against Americans. And they can paint it however they want, or they can try and say it's not that, but it is that. And it is good that people recognized what it was and went there and did what they did. So
exactly.
Oh, Anna, off the subject for just a second. What do you think about Marco Rubio?
Oh, honestly, I just don't know enough about him to say much.
Okay, that's fair.
He likes ice cream.
And he always has a dry mouth.
That's what he's got.
Yeah, now I've heard about that one. I have dry mouth. I got interviewed down there, and I couldn't even. Yeah, I had way dry mouth. It was not good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was just wondering because I already put my 2 cents worth in on Rubio.
He thinks he's the Antichrist. No, I'm kidding, Jim. I'm kidding.
No, he's pretty much might as well be. I hate.
He's the liberal Antichrist.
I hate rhinos. I just hate them. I don't like them. They're worse than Democrats for me because at least a Democrat stands for.
I know. Yeah.
No kidding. I hate what they
may stand for all the wrong things, but they still stand for something.
At least you have respect for them because they're telling the truth. So this is Rubio to me right there, and here's another one that I actually made up after I got an email from him. Call him Marco Rhino. I don't know. Well, thank God we're going to have a lot of choices.
Ted Cruz. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he's Cruz is my favorite, and but Rand Paul is actually already starting to run a brilliant, early but brilliant strategy against Hillary by trying to force that. What was her name? Debbie, wash your hair.
Wash my hair, Schultz.
Yeah,
that's what I call her, Anna. I said she looks like she smells all the time with dirty hair.
Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Here's another one that we were showing some things that Hillary's going to have a tough time running against.
Rand Paul, I think he's got to chill out on some of that because if you're always angry or overreactive, that's not good.
He did admit though. He says I have thin skin, so he's got to work on that.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you can't have a thin-skinned president. And we go now. We'll see what happens.
He's an.
I'm already checked out on him. I have no use for Rand Paul. So
Why?
I don't know.
Me neither.
I don't know a lot about most of them, but I do know that I won't vote for Rand Paul.
Why?
Because of his behavior during Benjamin Netanyahu's speech. That was enough for me. I'm done.
What happened? Tell me. I didn't see it.
He just sat out there just like he had his like shorts in a bunch the whole time, and he really hated being there, and he didn't hesitate showing it, and that didn't work for me. So
I didn't even see that, so I appreciate you telling me.
Yeah, there are some things that I make final judgment calls pretty quickly, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
That would be a check in the box for me on the no side, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I think we.
I mean, obviously, it comes down to Rand Paul and Hillary Clinton. I mean, I'm not writing in, you know, my dog. I'll vote for Rand Paul. I'll bite the bullet, but I don't see him getting the nod. I think because he has thin skin, he will. And a friend of mine had done some research on him a long time ago, and he's not so far from his father.
He just gives me a bad vibe. I can't put my finger all the way on it, but there's just something for me that's not working.
There's some stuff that's not it's very questionable.
We still have a lot of them still to jump in.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, myself personally, no matter who jumps in, I'm still pretty much a Ted Cruz guy, no matter who jumps in.
Yeah, my dream team would be Ted Cruz with maybe Ben Carson as the vice president. Trey Gowdy.
He's not a big big Second Amendment guy.
Well, he's not anti-gun though, but I said vice president. They don't do much.
Yeah, don't give him too much power.
Trey Gowdy is the Attorney General. Alan West is Secretary of Defense. That would kind of be my dream team. Condoleezza Rice is Secretary of State again. I would love to see her run for president. I just love her to death. But
I would love to see Sheriff Clark thrown in there.
Yeah. Yep.
I am a fan of him.
Yep. But they're not running. You know, I can't throw my weight behind someone.
I want to, though. I want to throw him and Benjamin Netanyahu and Lieutenant Kenda from Homicide Hunter, and I'm good.
I know. Can we kidnap Bibi and bring him here and tell him he's going to be our president no matter what? Oh, God. Well, talk about a strong leader.
I have lots of studying to do on these candidates for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you guys right now the only candidate that, let's see if I can.
And a lot of people will say, oh, if Sarah runs, I don't think she'll ever run again, but I also think they've effectively damaged her. You know, the left has effectively damaged Sarah Palin so that I don't think she would ever make it. I mean, I would love to see her run, but it's not happening.
I'm getting ready for my dream candidate to run.
Waiting with bated breath.
Amy, close your eyes for a second. Just for a second. Just for a second.
Oh.
You're going to want me to reach through the... Am I going to choke you out?
Oh, my gosh.
Can I look up now?
Yep.
At least a VP.
I'm going to choke you out. Did you see her? Anna, we were talking about her.
That's
and
not
Debbie Walsh, my hair Schultz. Not a flattering one.
No, her face.
Today, like they're like, oh my God, you know, like they're like two valley girls having a tea time or something. I was so disgusted. I was like, oh my God. You can be professional, you can be diplomatic, but the whole giggling thing together, I was just like, I was grossed out. Wasserman Schultz is as evil as Hillary, and to sit there and pretend like he's not is just so phony to me.
Let's see. Let's see what we're talking about here. Oh, there it is. Right there. Now that's a flattering picture of her. That's not even a flattering picture of Megyn Kelly because look how long and pointy her chin is. Oh my God. Starting to become less and less a fan all of a sudden. Ugh.
I'll tell you, I'll break your crush.
You know.
Hey Jim. Tell him to stop it. Stop.
She goes, I nitpick. Not that I have any right or reason to nitpick over other people based on the way I look, but I nitpick over stuff. And I'll see something on somebody, Lisa goes, of course you're going to pick that out. Of course you're going to find that, you know. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I just do. I mean, I'm like, oh my God, look at that.
Oh my word.
Well, next to old Debbie there.
Yeah, she's
stands
just
out in stark contrast.
Gross. Yeah. It's like literally. I was telling Brett. I literally, and I got to be honest. I'm not trying to be mean. I literally get queasy and yuck to my stomach. Like I want to just throw up a little bit in my stomach when I look at Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. It makes me sick. Grody.
It's because she's a
That's how I feel about Obama.
And I can't believe that I picked that picture. Awful.
Neither can I. I'm going to bed early.
You gotta switch to liking like Andrea Tantaros or what's the other one?
No, dude. I love her. Thank you. Yes. And the other one wears
the other one, yeah. What's her name? Kimberly Guilfoyle.
3 pounds of makeup on her face every time she goes on TV.
Always falling forward.
Kimberly or
Kimberly.
they're both still hot though.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm convinced that's why a lot of Democrat men watch Fox.
Well, so my brother is a hardcore liberal, and so one time I told him, I said, dude, turn to Fox right now, which he watches Fox more than he watches anything else. These libs just die for. They love to watch Fox. And I said, dude, look at this. All right, let's see here. There's Guilfoyle right there. And she'll have her boobs hanging out practically on her newscast just to get viewers. But to get past it, I mean, you've got like 3 pounds of makeup on her face. And what she's got right there is half as much as she normally does.
Kind of makes you want to see what she looks like without it.
I wear a lot of makeup, and I'm okay with it.
She's hot and she's got great boobs in the picture, so why wouldn't you flaunt it to get viewership?
Yeah, but realistically, I mean, in a intellectual setting, being a pretty woman can only get you so far. Men will watch you for a bit, but if you can't carry a conversation and you don't know what you're saying, that's not going to take you as far as Megyn Kelly's gone.
There are lots of different factors to being attractive.
There are, but I mean, she's actually a lawyer also, so she's very smart herself.
Very smart.
A cute lawyer.
Mm-hmm. Come on, you know that the right has the hottest chicks, right, Anna?
Well, I just think I believe it's because we still know we're women and we try to utilize our femininity in there with it.
And we don't mind being feminine, smart, and
Exactly.
It
keeps us guys scared.
Understand we're still women.
Yes.
No,
I still respect the role of a male.
Yeah.
In society and in my, I have got amazing sons and I respect them tremendously, and so anyway, I'm not anti-men.
Remember when men were men and women were women.
Yeah. Well, I did post a little cartoon. It was 2 like women sitting there, and it said "Women's Studies."
I saw
and
that.
One of them came out, was out walking out the door, going, "Oh, if you try really hard, you can blame men for just about everything." It's so true.
Yeah, that's what colleges teach in those classes.
Yeah, that's what they're teaching. I mean, really.
It's white men mostly, though. There's a focus on that. There's an emphasis on that. It's all our fault. All right, whatever.
Very true.
It is, but in the like every commercial, it's they might have men are portrayed as total dolts, no matter what race they are in commercials.
The only way that men can ever get, like, if you have a really intelligent woman, the only time we can ever get a word in edgewise is "This is us" right here.
Oh dear.
I have a rebuttal.
That's the best thing you can say there is "oh dear." It's not what I say in my head every time I see it, but it's something close to that. Like,
yeah, because you certainly don't want to say "oh shit."
No, I wouldn't. What? I'd never say that. I'd never say that.
Though, in a business sense, it's kind of interesting because you learn to portray yourself differently to different men when you're working with them in a business sense. I have to speak with 50s, or the World War II age men differently than I do with younger guys, and you just kind of have to you have to just kind of work in a way where they respect that you are smart, but they also aren't feeling like you are trying to make them feel stupid or smarter than them. And it's an art, and it's okay to do. It's just a respectful form of communication.
Knowing your audience and respecting who your audience isn't manipulation.
Right,
it's
and it's not degrading to me either.
No, and it shouldn't be.
Right.
Yeah, but I do know a few women who, they're very, very smart, but they feel like, it's almost like they feel like they have to come off as really, really aggressive. Not even assertive. Assertive is okay, but to be really aggressive and to the point of being bitchy, quote unquote bitchy, no matter what. Just because to them that equals strong, and that doesn't equal strong. That actually equals insecurity. So,
right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Anna would know that. No, it's because you guys don't have. You guys have other equipment.
Well, and understand that the card is in our pocket. I'm not just going to let somebody push me around and make me feel like I shouldn't be intellectual either.
Right.
If that card needs to come out, I will use it, but it's not going to be in a disrespectful way. It'll be in a way that will say, "Hey, bring it back down. We're having an adult conversation here," and then you can continue on. So.
Right.
Well, one of the last straw, the straw that broke the camel's back with Brett's marriage, was when he disrespected her. He comes home and he wanted to have a discussion about getting more intimate, and he's pulled that out. Jeez.
Jim, you're so bad.
I'm so done with
it. So bad. Oh, you are so bad.
And on that note, I'm getting off. I didn't say it that way, did I?
Did you just see Crisco?
Yeah.
It's almost 9. I gotta jump off here.
Try the coconut oil instead, Brett.
Oh dear.
There you go.
We did a segment earlier, Anna.
That's the key to my success right there.
Said, what is that? Would you know what that is? And they guessed it. It's what you use.
It's a can opener.
Yeah.
Can opener, the can of Crisco.
Right. Boy, that sure looks tempting. I'm so lonely.
And see the cake on there? Brett was just asking if she could make a cake, and she took it wrong. And
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys are bad.
All right. That's our show for the night. We're gonna do our little closing song, and
the party's over.
I wish that dog still looked like that.
And Amy never sings the song
because she doesn't know the
words.
Turn out the light. Well, good night, everybody.
Party's over.
Solid 2 hours. Anna, thanks for jumping in right there. We were just about to shut her down, and then you popped on. It's cool hearing about the ranch and whatnot.
Thanks for being patient.
Oh, no, always, yeah. No, we appreciate the support here on the show as well. We support you.
Thank you.